Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I'm pretty sure that most cultures, if not all cultures, because I didn't check, have this kind of saying, if you receive a gift, something as a gift, you don't start complaining about the gift. Since it's a gift, you were not supposed to, you didn't earn it or anything. It was not supposed to be given to you, and it was just because someone had a good heart and gave it to you. So if someone, you're starving outside and someone comes and gives you some food, you don't want to say, the food is cold, man, can you warm it up for me? I mean, stuff like that. Or that's all you give me? I want a steak. Now, this is what the Ukrainian handlers are doing. Let me read you the article because I'm a little bit, you know what I mean. This article comes from Business Insider from July 25th, 2022. This is the title. Ukraine doesn't need A-10 Warthogs. They are slow and vulnerable to Russian air defenses, military advisor said. If you remember, the United States stated that they want to get rid of their A-10s and they want to, give them to Ukraine if Ukraine would like to have them. Now, since Ukraine is in such a state of, of need and is depleted of its weapons, it's like the starving person that you give him, a pizza. And he said, can you warm it up for me? Or, it's not hot enough. Or, why don't you bring me steak? So that's exactly what these guys are going to say to United States of America. So, US Air Force, to be honest and straight with you, these airplanes are old. So, in an article that I made a video on, I made a point that, well, why would you offer Ukraine such old planes that could be hit by the Russians? You just expose the Ukrainian pilots to simply be killed, like sitting ducks. But on the other hand, I was thinking maybe these planes, as they come as a gift, they could be used in certain operations where, let's say, the Russian air defense is not there or not capable to hit you. There are certain locations when you can do this, swift and low. You know what I mean? So I said maybe they can use them. After all, they're for free. Nevertheless, US Air Force officials have said sending older aircraft like the A-10 to Ukraine is a possibility. The A-10 could be too, I'm quoting, slow and, quote, vulnerable to use against Russia in Ukraine, an advisor said. Very possible. The Ukrainian defense advisor said that the country needs a steak, fast and versatile aircraft like the F-15, no, F-16. No, F-15 it's even too, not good enough for them. Get out of the way. Get away from here. I'm surprised they didn't say F-35 or something. Although top US Air Force officials have suggested that sending A-10 Warthogs to Ukraine to support the country in its fight against Russia is a possibility, a Ukrainian defense advisor said recently that the decades-old ground attack aircraft are too slow and vulnerable to the enemy's air defense. Might be. In an interview with Air Force magazine, Yuri Sak, an advisor to Ukraine's Minister of Defense, said Ukraine needs Western standard fighter jets and combat aircraft. Sak said while the A-10, a close air support platform, is great support machine, one that is durable and very deadly, Ukraine needs fast and versatile aircraft like the F-16, a multi-role fighter jet. They are in a position to pick and choose, because, yeah, I don't like that one. Can you show me that one, please? No, yeah, that one. That's how you see that. Unbelievable. And I'm quoting: if we look at these needs of the Ukrainian Air Force today, it kind of leads us to conclude that the most optimal option would be something fast and versatile. And fast and versatile are F-16s. Sack said, also noting that the function that could be hypothetically performed by A-10s in Ukraine is performed by Sukhoi 25, a Soviet-era close air support plane. Yeah, my boy, but that's for free, I think, because the Americans are going to take the A-10s out of their functionality. Out, boom. Instead of just smash them, they're going to give it to you. But nevertheless, the A-10 Thunderbolt II, nicknamed the Warthog, is known for its aggressive appearance, which often treasures teeth pointed on the nose. The US Air Force plane, which was first introduced in 1970s, is armed with a powerful GAU-8 Avenger 30mm Gatling gun and has effectively provided low-altitude support to ground forces in conflicts such as the war in Afghanistan. The problem is, if you noticed, the Ukrainians are fighting inside their cities, rarely outside. So what support? I don't see people like, oh, let's go, oh, bum, 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 oh. No. It's like, stay behind something, shoot, go back, go in, buildings. So how are you going to use this one? In the cities? Maybe. Are there air support defense systems of Russians? I don't know, outside somewhere. But you can use them, you can find a way. And as I said, it's a gift, as far as I know. So it says that the A-10 was built for a very different war. That one happens in Ukraine. Currently, A-10 pilots told the Avianist, explaining that the permissive environment needed for A-10 to operate successfully and carry out the mission for which it was intended just is not there. I really think so. If you stay in cities all the time, what do you want? Last week, Air Force Chief of Staff General Charles Q. Brown Jr., oh, there must be a senior somewhere, suggested that Ukraine could obtain aircraft from the US as well as other Western countries. And I'm quoting, "We'll be open to discussions with them about what their requirements are and how we might be able to satisfy them. But there are numbers of possibilities," Brown said. He added that whether they decide to send to Ukraine, it will likely be non-Russian aircraft like a MiG. When asked directly about supplying Ukraine with A-10s that the US Air Force is seeking to retire, Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall declined to comment on specifics, but said that older US jets like that are a possibility for Ukraine depending on what their needs are. After a July 20 virtual meeting on Ukraine Defense Contact Group, US Air Force leaders said conventions on how to provide Ukraine with older US aircraft such as A-10s had begun, but a decision on what would be offered had not been made. So Sack said Ukraine is continuing to lobby the US and other nations for weaponry, but also for advanced training. Well, good, man. If you can afford, if you have some aces in your sleeve. But I'm guessing the ace in the sleeve is, you know what, guys, if you don't give us those, we just stop. We're not gonna fight. What are the guys gonna do? Take care of them? You know what I mean? Yeah, probably. So I think this is the blackmail. What are it? Could be the blackmail. That's my personal assessment. I think these guys are 100% controlled by the other handlers, which they are controlled by other handlers. And these guys in Ukraine who are, in charge, that we see and every day at the television or we hear from, all these Oleksis and Zelenskis and Mihals and all these guys, they're just over there and they have to follow what they're supposed to do. Now they blackmail. It's a scenario. They blackmail. We might not continue doing whatever you want us to do, but the other guys are going to say, well, you're not going to receive this in exchange. We're going to take care of you. I think this is the only blackmail they can use against the Americans and the British and these guys. If you don't give us what we want, we will stop fighting. That means we're going to hurt you. What are you going to do about it? We're going to make peace with Russia. We'll stay in charge unless you take care of us. And your plan goes down. Could be one of them. And remember, the Ukrainian military is I don't know if it's still under the Ukrainian military command or it has certain kind of advisors from outside. Nevertheless, the lower rank officers, they are Ukrainians, so they will probably refuse to follow certain orders if they really decide. And people underneath them, they will follow them, not those guys over there, the fat cats. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Give me the steak. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.